big inclusion this week is Marcus Bontempelli. I'm sure you're hoping that he'd maybe have another week out, but how do you prepare for him?
Well, I was hoping it was a bit of a ruse, like maybe he won't get to the line. But yeah, look, he's a great player. Obviously, we've all admired him from afar. So look, we've played against Marcus before. Like, they've been doing incredible without him. So look, it just adds to the challenge.
You applied the heat on him in his first game back and really make life difficult.
Yeah, how do you do that? I think, I don't know, you go back to that prelim when he was young, Bulldogs, GWS got into him, but I think he's pretty hard to ruffle, isn't he?
In terms of, if you were to send someone to him, you've used Marcus Windhager in that kind of way.
Feels like this is match committee. Yeah.
Is it, given his size, Bontempelli, does that sort of rule out maybe putting a Windhager to him, just given that size?
He's big, how big is he?
6'4", I think.
Yeah, well, in the old, no, he's a big man, isn't he?
Yeah.
I haven't got my head around him yet. Like, look, we're certainly playing some really aggressive footy with the ball, and our stoppage work's been really good, like as a collective. So we're a weakest link game. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's more than just about the one dominant player. We need a performance across the board, and I think most coaches would say that. So, and we haven't done total lockdowns. We're sort of, what's their strength, if you can just minimise that. But he's got strengths everywhere. He pushes forward, his clearance, but gee whiz, Liberatore's led him well. Richard's going really well. The half-backs sliced us last time, Bailey Dale had 37. So, and they're really big either end of the ground with Jones and Lobb, and then the unicorn and Norton's handy, and O'Donnell, who would have loved him being a father-son here. So, look, we've got some challenge, but we've got some belief in our capability. We played a red-hot Adelaide who put us through, but then we've played 3 prelim finalists from last year in a row. So, Geelong, Port Adelaide come out on top, and a red-hot GWS, and I thought we're well in the game. So, we certainly don't lack belief when we bring our best, and we're playing another finalist from last year. So we've had strong audits, we're seeing real growth in us, and we're really positive the direction we're taking. So we're up for this challenge, and we'll see where it takes us, and we'll get some more feedback.
And how primed is Jack going up against his old club? Ross especially had a bit of a quieter day on Sunday compared to his preliminary.
Yeah, look, he's been red hot, hasn't he? He's rated the 5th best player in the competition by champions. So I would imagine, look, it's not something I dial into. Like, he's an absolute pro, right? Like 3 times All-Australian Premiership player. I think he's a much loved son of the Scrays, right? Yeah. Dougie Hawkins probably would like to see him still there. But the fact is, he's with us, he's embraced us. He's, building out another phase of his career, and I think it'll feel a little bit weird for him, but it's not something I'll dial into, and they just get on with business.
What did you make of Sunday? Like you said after the game, you weren't sure how effective. Like he was still in the game, right? Bedford sat on him, but you were still.
Look, I think like we lowered our colours overall, but a lot of positive stuff, So I thought he still won the ball really well. Well, it wasn't at the top of his game, but to be there, like, it's a, total sum of your parts rather than individual pieces. So when we're all going well, we all look a bit better. We win and lose together.
Yeah. You touched on the unicorn. What have you made of his season so far, Sam Darcy?
Well, I sat on him on the couch and just watched a few of his really good marks, and you know what? Everyone's human though. Everyone's the next unicorn. I've seen them all. You've got to produce it over a long period of time to be great, right? So I tend to focus on us more, but he's a real challenge, right? So, but as always, all coaches will get up and say we've got to handle it at the source and some dirty ball in. So, yeah, he's a father-son, isn't he? Like, the inequities in the competition. Geez, Dacos, Ablets. Yeah, I know tradition, but
no, I
don't know. We model everything out of America and the NFL, but do they have father-son over there? Father-daughter? No, okay. What else? Free agency, they restrict it if you finish in the top four. I don't know. Maybe we'll get there someday.
Yeah, Saints players all having daughters.
Pardon?
Saints players all having daughters.
Yeah, which is fine, right, for our AFLW program. The gene pool, right?
On Darcy, Harris Andrews had a great duel with him.
You guys are fascinated with Darcy. Yeah.
And, but also,
You're not going to build some kid up to break him down again, are you?
But also, your man had a really good duel with the Coleman medalist, so you would be going in, as you say, if you get some dirty ball, that could be a really good, you would imagine it would be Cal.
Yeah, like there's pivotal matchups, right? Yeah. There's no doubt about that. So, Cal's a star. He's our reigning Trevor Barker winner. But again, he'll need some dirty ball. Yeah. So, Lord Norton, they're big men, right?
Yeah.
And they're big contested markmen. So we understand that, and we're a little bit thin. You know, the troops are coming. You know, we'd love to get Barron and Tareu in, but they've been a little bit thin for performance, and not performance, but game time, right? So, and then we've got Howard, you know, theoretically available next week. So, but all teams have got challenges. They've got a few out. But for us, it's that height issue, isn't it? And obviously with Max going in for surgery, so. We're just a little bit short, but we have been all year. You know.
Yeah, has Max had surgery?
Yeah, yesterday. So,
and how
you hear the noise, we hit. We didn't hide anything. He was fine. He just continued to have hiccups. So they had to go and re-explore, and and we mentioned there was a bone spur, and that was in the way with some other little bits and pieces in there. So we feel like, but the conservative nature, and surgeons just don't want to slice people up for the sake of it, right? So it was a bit, no, this is in really good shape, this knee, but okay, then you do some deeper exploration, and you know, there's some stuff to be just modified in there, I suppose, and a bone spur and some scar tissue that was causing the clunk. So structurally really sound, but that needed to be done, so that's been done, and we're looking, it'll be 6 weeks roughly from here. But as I said to Max, and this is for all our supporters, it's not about 6 weeks, it's about 6 years. So we're confident he's a power forward, he'll be fine, and he'll have his day, right? It's been a very tough period for him. He had a full pre-season in the first practice match. So there's nothing dramatic going on here. There's certainly been no smoke and mirrors, which has been alluded to, which is disappointing. But we're in the hands of the surgeons. The surgeons were conservative and they were confident. But in the end, the clunking, they couldn't reproduced it, gone back in. But to find what they've found, they've had to really disrupt a bit more. So let's all be really clear on that. I don't like the suggestion that we're hiding anything and protecting Max. It's far from the truth. So everyone can just jump back in their box.
On a couple of other guys coming back, Liam Henry's on the extended bench. Does he get a game this week? And then also Phillipou, probably about a week off.
Let me pull it out, look. Hang on. Here's our team. Put it up in lights. Like, seriously, mate. I love your confidence, but you can get back in your box too. We've got to do our training. And once we get through training, we'll finalise everything.
And just excitement around Phillipou, you know, looks to be a week or two off.
Yeah, look, but again, it's a brutal competition there, so it takes time to. He had a not insignificant stress fracture of the femur, which is a stress reaction, right? So he's training really well, but like anything, he's a third-year player, and we'll get him to the line, and we'll assess will he need a game in the Sandy, or has he done enough? But he was so exciting over summer. But you know what? A game for him, it's not about 6 weeks, it's about 10 years for him. Thanks, bud.